where was I? That was annoying.
We were talking about
inconvenience.
selling the clothing, and we wanted to. I was about to say how Beard said that.
I was about to say, what would happen if in the middle of our jam here, the internet went down? Well, we just found out. And you know what? I wasn't invited to the party. And I just had to call up the internet company and give them a piece of my mind. I was like, do you know who I am? I am Josh Galt's friend, and we're about to have a program, and we're going to get rich. And you are not invited, internet company. Gig up and gig down my A. I mean, for like, this thing is up like 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the past 10 years. But they went down right now during our show. Are you angry?
You're not live. You know that, right?
No, I didn't know that. I thought we were live.
No.
Why aren't we live?
I don't know. Why aren't you? I didn't see you click stuff.
Oh, I click stuff. Stuff is clicked. We are live right now. Yeah.
Oh.
Show's live. You're not live,
Oh,
ding dong.
boy.
That's your problem. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Candy O's here.
Candy O, that's why we had to take this down. We're waiting for Candy O. Come
Sorry,
in.
you guys.
Come in and pull yourself up a chair. Oh, thank you.
What a...
Our noises almost didn't work too. So then I had to because then I had to turn off the Wi-Fi because I'm like, why can't I couldn't do anything. I couldn't, the internet goes down. You're like, the world is ending. My head fell off. I screwed it back on.
Oh, Renee F. My other account is the Queen Bees.
Renee F.
Yeah.
Aloha.
Okay.
Welcome. Sorry, everybody's coming back for the second.
Thank you.
Because the first part was so amazing. We had to do today's show in 2 volumes.
And then, do you want to say the Marantz thing too?
Oh gosh. So like in between,
So
since the last time we saw you,
internet goes out, and then we get a return request for a $700
an $800 thing. And it's an old. It's not a big deal. It was fine. But they hold your money. I hate that. Just give me my. Don't mess with my money. Don't mess with the money.
Always something.
Yeah, and so I restore the working components of a receiver. Very nice Marantz receiver, super nice Marantz receiver. But I don't do LEDs on old receivers because I like to have the original, orangey warm glow of incandescent bulbs. But those can, in shipping, if they're not even mistreated, they just have the tendency to, the little coils inside can break. So LEDs won't do that. So updating the LEDs is but I can't do that. It's just against my religion to update vintage audio components with modern LED lighting. It looks wrong. And people put in those blue lights. I'm very angry at you. Thank you.
So, picking up where we left off.
That was just a balloon. I just lost all my air. So in between times, I gave the guy a call, as I do. I just ring people up. I don't even care. I'll just call him right up. Called him up, and there was no answer. So I left him just an apology, and then I'll follow up with message.
Yeah, do you guys ever do that? Call a customer directly?
Look, sometimes, especially with more expensive things, it's, you have to read the situation. But if someone's disappointed, they just, maybe hearing your voice, or maybe you can walk them through it. Maybe he wants to fix his own light bulbs, and I can just give him a few bucks off. These are all things that could happen.
Spending cents. That's it. I went to sleep during the interlude. Right after you read, right? Keep me awake. I'm tired.
Yes, and we're like, oh yeah? Hold my beer. I'm Zing you out. You're going right to bed. None of this. I got to go get my words up because I don't have them.
Well, we were talking about, we were going on and on about the clothing, how we got such a great deal. And we were sort of just...
ad nauseum.
We were extending Beard's conversation that he had on his morning show, and sort of talking about niche, because we felt that because we were selling clothing in our store where we typically don't sell clothing, that
we are niche.
We couldn't probably
squish our niche, and we also
we keep
our
niche.
eyes out for I mean, I don't. My mom hates the term "no brainer," but I like it. I think it's accurate. It says if these 3 or 4 things are true, just buy it. Don't even think it through. I mean, just like cheap,
And
nice.
we priced the stuff at what we
Third
saw
thing. Can't
the
tell you
stuff
that's
going
magic.
for, like the higher prices.
And then we marked it the heck down to nothing down.
Because we realized
And
that
still made $300 and whatever dollars.
We realized that
$23
being
investment.
that clothing is not our niche.
Okay.
We didn't think we
so
could ask.
What's the
for as
sell
much.
through rate if we bought clothing for $23 and then it sold within 2 weeks for $320? Hold on. I'm doing the math. Okay. That's right. Carry the 3. Okay. Here we go. Pull that big lever. 5,000%. We made 5,000% sell through rate on both clothing. We are the greatest sellers of men's clothing in the internet of eBay. Thank you.
Anyhow, a Beard had mentioned on his show, which I feel is so true, that when you niche down, that your store functions a little differently and often better. And we knew that having clothing on our store.
Where's WTF? Did I offend him like for real?
No, WTF was on vacation
He's on like
starting the 10th,
he did give us
I
his
think.
he gave us his vacation breakdown. Because he was sick and then couldn't make it to the members only live. Was, I think seriously offended that I would do that while he was ill. But then he gave me his next month's schedule, so that wouldn't happen again. So. If you're out there having fun, we can't wait for you to return.
Oh, you're supposed to be turning the chat on.
I get distracted. Did you know that?
Lag was saying before we lost internet, the reason why Lag can understand you is because of the ADHD. The ADHDs can
it's
communicate.
like
Continue
it's
with
testicles.
the chat. Continue with showing the chat.
We have like intermingling testicles.
I needed I'm spinning you around to pin the tail on the donkey, and I gotta put
Don't
you in
do
the
it.
right
What
direction.
happens? Somebody's gonna lose
Go
an
to
eye.
the chat.
Somebody's gonna lose an eye. That's what I'm afraid of.
Okay.
That's me.
Continue
It's
with the
testicles.
chat.
Testicles. I just made up that word. That's how you calculate your smell through rate, though. Now, the title, I thought this was a genius title to this 2-part. It must be seen in 2 parts. It's too good for 1 part. How to calculate your STR smell through rate, and that's because people are full of. You can't have more than 100%. So it's BS. But I understand the thing that got through to me finally was like, well, we're all talking in a language that we all understand as resellers. I still don't understand it, so I can't actually converse with anybody about sell-through rate because there's only 100%. But
I know. Well, and coming from a retail world and being a buyer for brick and mortar retail, it always like irked. Well, not irked, but it always just boggled my brain. How
it's
people
like
would
dethaw.
say
You
more
can't
than
handle dethaw because it's not really a word.
% sell-through rate, and I'd be like, you can't be more
You
than
can't do
100.
that.
What?
The problem
Unless
is
you're selling stuff you don't have.
I can't even allow
Which is
the
impossible.
conversation to continue in my mind.
I
That's
know.
the problem. So it's like, maybe we're talking on a ethereal plane of, ooh, we're resellers, so we're 300%. But it sounds so dumb to me. It just sounds dumb. Like you just sound dumb when you. But I'm not saying anyone in particular sounds dumb. Just the notion of having a more than 100% sell-through rate. I get it that we're trying to come up with new. I
love Axe Monkeys. When you sell vintage, I don't smell through rate is important.
Yeah, it is. I'm telling you. And if you have more than 100%, you have crossed over into the smell through rate as opposed to the sell through rate.
July is definitely a smell through rate.
We are. I don't know what's going on over here, but we're doing fine. We're doing fine right now, and I'm just because I'm nervously fondling my tiny Post-it cube. We are doing well.
They are tiny. Oopsies.
We got crooked.
Tiny Post-its, not your normal.
No, I think we talked about how we got these on sale at Staples.
Yeah, like for half price or something.
Which was like normal price on Amazon. I don't know.
Mike G is here, present for part 2. Lenny K is here. Aloha, nice to see
Did
you,
I do this right?
Lenny.
I haven't done this part right yet with the words. I had to recreate Rome after that whole debacle. But just like this this got my mama,
Oh,
because my mom wanted for some reason, wants a sewing machine. So secret, don't tell her. I'm working on one here, and it worked perfectly. But so the opposite of list easier is me work perfectly, but then touch it for some reason. So I didn't think it worked, but then I didn't know that the thread goes on. Did you see that fly? Did you see that fly?
Oh no, is it a real fly?
There's a real fly. The dog is broken.
That is why he's acting weird right now. He's
Cover his
scared.
head so he can't see what to put blinders on.
I was wondering why he.
So where you put the thread, not where you put the thread, but where the spinny thing on the sewing machine, you flip it. It's like a switch that makes it go between winding the bobbin and then working. And I didn't know that, so I'm taking the thing apart thinking there's something broken, and then I broke it.
The whole thing is like exploded.
I did an exploded view on it.
And then
and I got to put it back together and give it to my mom so
this...
she's happy. So we just got a brand new Singer sewing machine, and it was totally fine. And I didn't think it worked because I didn't know how that switch worked on top because I'm dumb. I got her one 30 years ago, a sewing machine. She didn't know.
I've used it like twice.
Well, you're welcome for that expensive present. You know how much that cost when I was 23? Let's see. If you adjust for inflation. $5,000! Wait, what happened?
3,500.
3,500? You had a cha-ching? I don't even know what you said. Oh, yeah, you did. That's what he said.
Renee.
More smell-through rate talk. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
You take the mayo, you mix it in with the poop, and you come up with the smell-through rate.
Wait, who was it that said
Posh
July is
Wait,
totally
is
a
not
smell-through
working.
rate? Yeah.
Why isn't this working?
Smell-through rate. Fart.
Still doing it wrong.
Yes, I know. Jovial number 2, fart, poop. Boobs of death. There we go.
We do
Bingo.
it all. We do it all here. Yeah, we even gave you like a 45-minute intermission in the middle of our show. That was pretty cool.
Spared you from his nonsense.
You're welcome. Yeah, flies, weird lag out too. Lag cannot tolerate any buzzing. No, he's done with the flying insects.
He just jumped down and his tail was between his legs and I'm thinking, and he's like, let me outside. That's why, because
they did something bad to him once.
Fly.
The flies did something bad.
Oh,
I broke
like
my
the insects.
I broke my cube.
Fireworks, he's fine. Thunder, he's fine. But give him an insect and he is...
Started with the tank bugs. I don't know what they did to him. They had their way with them, I guess. My Denticor Depot says my 90-day smell-through rate on everything in the store is right around 20%, which I guess is pretty good.
That is really good.
But in real life, it's what is it? What's his? So yes, so 90-day smell-through rate is a smell-through rate. But 100% sell-through rate is just a sell-through rate.
Well, so...
But if you say 90 days and qualifying the sell-through rate, then yes, I suppose that's actually more... That's a fair way to say it.
You take how many you started with...
And divide it by 4,000 by pi, and then you come up with...
You take how many you sold and divide it by how many you started with.
Nope. Where's the...
And then you times that by 100.
Where's your time? Where's your time period calculation?
Well, that's not it. I mean, I guess it's...
Explain that, why don't you?
If you go by a month, if you go by a year, if you go whatever, whenever you decide to replenish, I don't know. When I was in retail, it was when we were replenishing that specific item. So.
You still can't have over 100. We're old.
No.
I'm gonna die on this hill. Beard has gone up and planted the flag on the top of the hill. It looks like something from the top of the Dukes of Hazzard car. But I'm going up that hill. I'm dying up there. I'm running up that hill. Sell-through rate cannot be over. That's enough on smell-through rate. But anything over 100% is smell-through rate territory. Thank you. Thank you very much.
What was Renee saying 6,000 for?
You want me to go up here? I can't go up. It doesn't go anywhere.
Well, hey.
I'm going to reload. I'm getting ready. Reload. Reload. It is time to reload. You will comply.
Oh, Ao's here.
I AO'd him.
Oh, you did AO.
I totally
I hope
AO'd
you're
him.
doing well, AO.
I'll do it again, though.
Yes, Silver here. We are back. Renee F. Hey, Carla. Okay, Quirky could hear us. Candio, you're live. Yes, we are. Spending cents. That's it. I already said that.
Yes, we made it. Those, right. Buyer's
Carla.
remorse. It is. We'll see what I can do about that, Marantz, if I can salvage the sale. But if you spend that much money on a thing, I'm okay. You got to have it right. Of course, it was perfect when I sent it. Nobody's challenging that. It's just a nuisance. And somebody else will buy it. It's a great unit. There is a possibility that it gets damaged on the way home, which is not good.
And that's one of the risks you take with vintage electronics, especially like tube. I mean, we had that double tube thing that went to Australia, and that was
made it fine.
perfect. And
but it didn't have any tiny bulbs in it.
And he took so much time packaging this Marantz.
Oh, but you know what the crazy news is? That thing was on the boat. We dropped it off at the Walgreens FedEx boat barge
last night.
That thing was in Connecticut.
The person got it today.
2 hours ago. What? Hey, nice job.
That's fantastic.
The time was fantastic to deliver them a botched unit. So, I mean,
whatever. Well, maybe they'll take. Yeah. Anywho,
I will give them $50 if they buy their own bulbs. Now, depending on what bulbs it is, they're either solder in or very simple pop them out. I think they're pop them out. I think they're fuse type bulbs, so it might be. I have to go look it up.
Piece.
But then all this thing happened, and then I had to go to the thing, and then there's other things. Hair's on fire. It's Wednesday, but our Friday. Remember that.
We have Jenna too.
After this show, we just go
Jenna
into
Phipps.
full. Well, while we wait for the software to come, we're taking a permanent vacation. We're not listing. We haven't listed anything. How many of you list? Do you list about 10 a day on the media store? Just because? Why not? Are you doing about 10? I think I hear about 10 bleeps, blips.
Oh,
just say yes, so we can go on from there.
Sure.
Yes. So we list about.
I overthink. I'm like, what are you talking about?
We list about 10 media items a day just to keep the flow of the store going. But the second that damn software. Second that thing, listeasier.com.
I wonder if they can do magazines.
They can do it all.
Like I can
it's
do
all
all
gonna
those Vogues.
Are you nuts? That's what we're waiting for, lady.
Not just the
Are
books.
you do you even resell?
Right.
Do you even
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this. I'm so excited. And yeah. And I know and I understand people are asking for a lower tier, and I totally respect that. But I just want to point out that even if you only listed 250 items a month paying the $69, it's still half the price of that other program that came out. It would only be 15 cents or 14 cents per listing if you were paying $69.
And then two practical reasons why I would like there not to be a lower one, but there may be, because simply limiting access by creating a higher entry price will limit the number of people to have it. So super selfish reason, but I don't care. I'm super selfish.
I think that's a good point, because so many people watching our videos and in the chats when we were all first started talking about this were so worried that now everyone was going to start reselling because of these programs.
Yeah.
So keep in mind, if there are
that's
lower
my selfish
tiers,
reason.
if there are lower tiers,
there's gonna be more people using it. So that's my super selfish reason. And my other reason is, and this is maybe more important, I want to make sure that these characters, we got Super Dave, we got Travis the Brain, we've got Josh Galt, of course, we've got James Helferstay in the beta testing team. We've got Spencer in the beta tester. I think she's
done like over 100,000 items or something.
Yes. And then we've got maybe even another beta tester. Now, today, Josh just casually drops his legal team of somebody and somebody. I can't remember their names. Shauna and what was the other guy's name? Hefcoat, something like that. Hefcoat and Shauna, the legal team. So anyway, my point being, I want them all to get paid. That was my point. Thank you. I want to make sure that he gets enough money from his project to continue to make improvements on it. So I I just think the price point's going to cover his expenses, which I
And-
need to have happen as well. Thank you.
And to point out too,
Yes.
we don't know.
Point number 4.
We don't know much
lot
of
of
anything
points.
about the other program.
We know everything about
Axe Monkey has some
everything.
experience with it, but I just want to point out too that Josh and his team, they have worked very hard to make sure that all of our personal information, like credit card information and stuff, is going to be safe. Like they have, followed through to make sure that the credit card
Yes.
processing is done. Sort of.
Now, by saying that, are we pointing that out because it's possible that others aren't doing that?
Well,
Why are we
we don't
saying
know.
that?
Well, I'm just making
Let's just
sure
point
that
that out.
everyone knows that.
It's safe.
And as Josh
Safety first.
reiterated
It comes with
today, that
life vests, flotation devices.
the people they have working on their program, these are people they know. They are within the U.S. and within Canada, and they know these people like firsthand. So they're anyhow.
Den Decor says it's a moving target, but 20% of my inventory every 90 days is pretty cool. I agree with you.
Yeah, that is.
Because if that means at the end of the year you're selling 80% of everything that you put into your store, which even if my math is wrong on that, that's still awesome.
We are back, Biff.
And we see Quirky Picker Chad says I bought some adult diapers in an estate sale online. When I got to the house, it reeked of mothballs. Let me say the smell through rate was so high that you just had to, sometimes it's just too much. You got to chuck it.
Renee was saying they use mothballs to repel rattlesnakes.
I thought it was just for moths. What do I know?
So Renee was asking, is it true you only get one photo at that price point?
No.
We don't know anything about the other program, but about
Well, we
List
know.
Easier, the one that will be coming out that Josh Gall.
I don't think anything is saying it's
not one photo. No. They want
it's
you
as
to
many
put
photos
as many photos as you can.
use, and they cost per listing.
So that
Both
the
programs
AI
have a cost per listing.
So that the AI will generate, it has enough information to create your listing for you. So
The one pricing model requires a payment before you get anything, and then you have to pay per listings. That's not an attractive price model, especially if you're not going to list a lot. And that price model only comes with a certain amount of listings, which do not go down with the more you buy. So that's the one pricing structure. Now the List Easier pricing structure is 3 cents, which is more than it really is.
Wait, what
It's
is
really
it?
$2.99 and it's really 20. Hold on.
what
It's
are you
really-
saying right now? You are making this very confusing.
You're making confusing by pointing out my confusion. Do not point out my confusion, and no one will be confused. They'll go, "That's just normal." So
Pokey's farting.
it's 2.9 cents to 6.9 cents a listing on List Easier. Josh is thoroughly considering doing another layer that I imagine would raise it up to about somewhere in the 4.9 cents a listing if you got less.
So
Does that make sense? Yes, it does.
the higher
But you have to be in my brain to see it.
The higher subscription you have,
These are numbers going through my head.
the lower per
Very
price.
smart.
The
What?
lower per listing it is. So for
Like most things on earth,
so
we
for-
don't need to describe. If you pay more, you get more. That's what's happening here. Thank you. Wait, did you really stop describing it? Thank you. Thank you so much. I normally average 700 or so views. Been at 1,100 or so this week.
wow.
Are you saying an actual? I don't even look at that anymore because
Are they converting?
I do not allow myself
We
to look at numbers.
don't. Yeah, you guys, we stopped looking at the
I never did them before. What? And then I got all sad about eBay. And then I stopped looking at them and I'm fine again.
Well, we all were caught up in trying to figure out what had gone wrong with eBay and why everyone was seeing their sales
They
drop.
hate me. That's
And
what
so
happened.
we all
I just got used to that.
We all started looking at like the finer details of our accounts that
They
we
want
never
me to
looked at
die.
before, which was how many views were being, how many times our items were being shown, and how many times they were being clicked on, and we finally gave that up because it was driving us crazy and causing us stress looking at all those numbers.
Matt says, Primo, are you guys still nuking weekly? I've cut way back on it, and it seems like not much has changed with fewer resets. I do our regular stuff store. There's a spider.
I saw that.
You see him?
Oh, wait. Oh, he's fine. Just let him be.
He's on Pokey's sticker. Does he even know that that's an Axe Monkey original right there? So the spider erased my brain. I don't know what to do now. What was I talking about?
Oh, Den Decor. Nuclear Reset.
Yeah, so I do that on my regular store, just the regular items. I do that every week still on Friday morning because I still think Friday's a good day to do that. And it definitely, and that store is just falling lower and lower by attrition. It started out, I don't know, like 500 items. It's down to like 150, and we're just not putting them in there right now. I think we're taking a vacation a little bit, sort of like a working vacation. We're focusing on some other things right this second is what's happening. So, but I do relist those every Friday. And then on the media store where I have to weed out the items that have multiple quantity, which is mostly just DVDs, I am able to do that nuclear reset by category. So I'm not doing the entire store. I'm leaving anything that has multiple quantities. I'm not resetting those because that doesn't work.
And remember, if we have watchers and obviously if we have offers out, we do not reset those items.
We do not.
No. So, okay, Mike G was saying the real question is, what is the mass listings going to do to your store algorithm?
It's true, but
it will be interesting. Yeah, I wonder.
And again, I'm listing media in the media store. We're going to list that by the thousands. The media in the media stores. This is what the software is for. This is what we're going to do with it. Super excited to do that. And we haven't cherry picked these collections. So the books, the magazines, the records are all fresh picks. The books are all horror genre or at least film studies. So they're a niche within a niche. And everything we've listed from that is good. So I believe it's not going to change it's not going to make us look worse than we already are. We just suck. So. But actually the Omega Moon Media sell-through rate, is that sell-through rate? Is the 2%? No. What's the sell-through rate? No, what's the click-through rate? Conversion rate. There's a lot of rates. Now, there's a click-through rate, the sell-through rate, and the conversion rate. Our conversion rate on that is like 2.8%, which is pretty good. So I think feeding that with more stuff is going to make us cooler in the eyes of the algorithm. Maybe it will ask us out on a date. I don't know. That'd be cool. We'll see. And I still think there's still a value of just getting things on eBay. I think it's smart to get things that people want right now and double checking your prices. I think the prices is like the biggest thing on eBay. We get set in our prices. So, on what's that thing where people sell stuff? Amazon. On Amazon, they have repricers. Why? Because it's gotten so lame and they're selling new things that you got to reprice constantly. I think even for vintage items, repricing might only really happen weekly, but this stuff changes definitely quarterly. So 90 days ago, collectible stuff, it often has a different values.
I was looking
Things go up and down is what I'm saying.
I was looking at socks on Amazon.
You don't need any new socks.
And
you have a lifetime of Timo.
I have an obsession with socks. Anyhow, I was looking at socks on Amazon, and of course I know it's Amazon Prime or whatever right now. And there were like 6 pairs for $9. And I was like, I wonder if these would be on eBay. And on eBay they had the same exact socks for $21.
Are you gonna sell all your Shein socks on
That's not what I'm talking about.
Can we do that?
And I thought to myself,
talk about replenishable. You know how many packages of socks you have?
They always talk about a race to the bottom on Amazon. And I was thinking to myself, that is crazy. $9 on Amazon and $21 on eBay. And yeah, I think eBay,
Did they sell for $21 though?
I don't know. You know how like people say on Etsy you get more money than you do on eBay. Well, I think you get more money on eBay than you do on Amazon for new items.
Does anybody look up prices on eBay and not look at the sold prices? There's so many people out there that sell on eBay and don't look at the dang sold prices.
I'll look at the solds, but I'm also looking at what people are currently trying to sell them for.
Fair enough. Don't hurt me.
I'm not going to put something at $500 when everyone else has it for $2.
I still have a handprint on my butt.
Can you stop?
Yeah. It was a good one, though.
Oh,
good
Lord.
handprint.
Candy,
just in case. You want to read that one? I'll do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you do it.
You.
No, I insist. After
Rock,
you.
paper, scissors. Oh, wait.
That was so delayed.
No, because I'm at a weird
Fired.
angle. Do it one more time.
Cheater. Can you make you're trying to hide behind the box? Hold on. We'll come back, Candy. Oh no, we're trying to figure this out. I killed you. Done. You're dead.
Okay.
There you go.
We should be fighting over who is going to read it.
Oh, right. I won. So, Candy-O, just in case you see an unexpected box on your doorstep next week, don't let the Tenny Ruxpin syndrome overtake you. I'm glad that actually stayed. I was just thinking about that the other day. We never got that return. And I think we mentioned that. But it was, I was just thinking about how that's a part of reselling. That even when people get an initial reaction, still people are like, I'm not taking it all the way down there and rewrapping this thing. And we benefit from that occasionally.
I don't think there's any, yeah. I hope that if that Marantz comes back to us, oh boy.
Currently trying to find an appropriate size shipping box.
Oh, this is exciting.
Do not pay too much.
I know, you always pay so much on shipping.
You don't need to send us anything, but
that's really sweet
I'm going to be
you.
sitting here like this. I'm like,
we appreciate
packages.
you so much. That's
I
very
love
sweet.
packages. Here on Hand-Me-Downs, I'm back. Are you back? We're back.
Wait, I just want to point out, having this hero and hand-me-downs really makes it difficult for anyone that wants to reply to you, Biff. Because
you're Biff.
Now they have to type in hero in hand-me-downs.
What are you
At
saying?
least when you're on the phone, you can't click on the name.
Are you handle shaming Biff right now?
And when Pitco changed to like
she has no mercy
in the techno or whatever, I was like, no.
Don't handle shame our Biff Boffo. He can call himself whatever the heck he wants.
I just want to point that out.
I look at things up all the time because I'm like, what does that mean? Hero and I didn't find anything, so he made that up. It's like his reference. I don't think it's like a literary reference or anything.
Not all heroes wear capes.
That's right. And all I can think of is like railroad striped Oshkosh overalls. So when I read heroes and hand-me-downs, there's Biff Boffo's no shirt, maybe a straw hanging out of his mouth, playing a little baseball.
I don't know why this reminded me.
He's got Oshkosh.
Hero and hand-me-downs made me think of, I just saw like this article title. It was Billie Eilish is looking like there's 400,000 t-shirts or maybe 40,000 t-shirts that did not sell. And so she doesn't want them going to a landfill. She wants to figure out how to get them recycled. And I was like, good.
We'll give them to
that's a lot of crap.
Major Win or something to sell them.
I know. I was thinking that too. I was like, we'll take them.
Yeah. Did you hear that Miley Cyrus told her accountant to hide all her cocaine spending and stuff, that she was buying $40,000 vintage T-shirts from us?
Oh, that was back when she did some drugs.
Yeah, we had yeah.
No, I think it was marijuana she was buying.
Oh, yeah.
Who cares?
You look at her. You can tell what she was on.
Renee was saying tech had implied and not trying to start. Oh, Mike Seller.
Whoa, Mike Seller. Aloha.
Yes,
Thank you.
I hope everything's Thank you. It's so nice to see you. Boop. And Pokey always says thank you.
I don't know if I feel like I haven't done hearts on these. I don't know. Hey guys, just listening and while listening, hope everyone is doing well. Today is good.
John. Thanks.
You missed the big excitement of the internet going down for a half hour in the middle of our show. The only time it ever goes down in the middle of our show, I guess, is what's happening now. And then I had to call them up and be like, do you know who I am? And they were like, I totally don't. Renee F is trying to start a fight.
No, not John. No. And Josh and Tech have actually been like in communication with each other and stuff, and Josh is very supportive and just wants everyone to succeed.
Horse heads have been exchanged.
No,
Let's just put it that way.
no. But no, List Easier, you use
better.
more than one photo, and it's
the best.
Extremely enticing amount per listing. It's only 7 cents if you do
6.9 cents.
$69.
Those 0.1 cents
listings.
add up over time. Okay, let's do the math. So that 0.1 cents, and you do 1,000 listings, you save an extra 1 million. No, that's being silly. You get like $1,000 back.
And if you do their
1,000 listings times 0.1.
If you do their top tier right now, it would be 3 cents. It's $300 for 10,000 listings.
0.1.
So, but even if you do $69 a month, and say you only did 250 listings, it's still only like 14 cents a listing. It's like nothing. So.
Let's do this.
But anyhow, they're discussing doing a lower tier.
Yep.
So.
I don't approve, but nobody asked me. So if you have 1,000,
Mike,
and then you're going to do 0.1, multiply that out. I just don't even know what to do with this.
Mike G was.
You get 100 extra listings.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you get. If you're saving, I'm saying it's 6.9 cents. It's not 7 cents. So that 0.1 cents, I'm trying to extrapolate that out over the 1,000 listings. You get an extra 10 listings, I think. That's right. Take that. So you think you're so smart. You guys are just glossing over the fact that they're giving out an extra 10
Mike G was
listings per 1,000.
Any new technology sucks until it improves.
That's how they're paying for giving away 10, is because that's why they're saying it's 7 cents when it's really 6.9. Taking that 0.1, covering those free 10, and then they're taking it, wrapping it up in a bow, and sending you out the door with a mighty hi-ho silver.
See, Mike,
and a gift bag with.
Mike is concerned
like
that
Gucci.
people are gonna, sellers are gonna get iNads, but we still have to quickly verify and make sure everything looks right.
Your responsibility is proofreading, and quite frankly, you should still proofread your stuff even when you do it, shouldn't you?
Yeah,
because our shit sucks.
I mean,
sorry,
I draft a lot of our stuff, but
I'm rewinding. All I meant to say by swearing is that we're sloppy, and no matter how hard I try to not be sloppy, I'm still sloppy. So it's always sloppiness that you catch somewhere down the line. Like a year later, why hasn't this sold? And you go and look at it, and it says it's a donkey saddle when you're selling like a car part. And for some, I don't know how that happened, but we did it.
I just heard donkey paddle.
Yes.
Is that what I heard?
I said donkey saddle because I don't know if there's special ones for donkeys. But it's not a car part, is my point. And you need to have to. Bloop. Can you read this one?
I already read it.
Okay, thanks. Can you read this one?
For real, I used to start AOL, run a mile, and come back.
You've got mail.
That's so funny. You can't sell it if it's not
That's
listed.
right. That's right.
So
That's
true.
the attitude. That's the attitude, right?
And Mike was saying, I can see the same like items benefiting if a seller is willing to throw bunch deals in, encouraging multiple orders. And yeah, I think
this is making us so much bigger business people.
I think for sure, when you have a niche, these programs are really going to help people that are like, especially us with books, because we pretty much have the same description for every book, saying that it came from the estate of this film professor. And then the item condition description will be more tailored to if the item has notes.
I already know exactly the things I'm going to ask for if they're not already there. And it's going to be structure. It's going to be title structure, the ability to do title structuring if it's not already there.
Yeah, because we have a specific way that we type out every title for our
media, because I don't like the way random media gets titled. And so I use a very specific format.
Yeah.
And I want my stuff to do that. So we'll see how that works.
Jovial. Oh wait, what did Lagsag That is a drop shipper on eBay, drop shipping from Amazon. Okay.
You were smart about using your time wisely. Me, I just sat there, stared at the screen, and said a few curse words.
Jovial, you
Yes.
crack me up.
That's what I do.
You are so funny.
Yep, it's a drop shipper.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Hold on, let me. This isn't working again. Okay, there it is. Amazon seller. I think overall price is significantly higher on Amazon. Every product is different, but from my experience, we sell items for more on Amazon. Absolutely true. So
okay.
people sourced our. Did you say that it was different, cheaper on Amazon?
The socks, yeah.
It's because the what did we find out that the DVDs, people are buying our DVDs on eBay and selling them on Amazon for way more, like the Luchador one.
Yeah, and then we were like, oh, let's price that the same
So now
price.
we're
And
selling
ours just sits there.
Yeah, we're selling ours on eBay for less. So this guy is selling them on Amazon $150 for this DVD. So we've got two of them. We've got them highly priced because, well, she priced them. This is we'll get over it someday. I'll get over this. But she priced them really super low at $35 because she couldn't find comps. But instead of looking, she didn't look at Amazon to see that there was a comp there. Well, something slipped through the crack. That's okay.
Yeah. Listen, most people. I don't know about you guys. But I know with me, if I'm looking for a new item, I don't go to eBay. I would go to Amazon. So yes.
You learned your lesson though, that if you don't see it on eBay, if you can't find a comp, make sure you double check Amazon because that is the place they go.
So now I have an Amazon window open.
But we can't sell. It's $150 on Amazon. We can't sell that same DVD for $120
I
on
put
eBay.
it down to 80, I think.
And she put it down to 80, she thinks.
Because it's not even worth 100 and something. It's just not.
But let's get comfortable with selling to resellers. I'm okay with that. I don't have any problem with that.
Yes.
If I paid a penny for a DVD, I don't care who buys it.
And remember,
for how much?
If you are selling to a reseller, you are
could be selling to yourself.
Eliminating the end customer, which can be a real pain in the butt sometimes, the end customer. So the reseller already knows what they're getting, and they're not going to be like, I decided I don't want this. They bought it because they're reselling it.
Matt says, I think you guys are grossly overestimating the drive of the average reseller. I think those who are serious will get in early and be just fine. And we're kind of hoping, like Pokey rode that woodchuck in the backyard. That's what we're doing. We're climbing on there.
He had a little like lasso, and he was all like, ah!
I am the first to admit I enjoy a life of, I don't want to call it leisure, but it's leisure compared to poor suckers who have to go to work every day. I don't get up for doodly squiddly. And then I get up super. So I think that's an interesting sociological thing, is that I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I don't have to go anywhere. And then people who have to go to work, they get up at like 7:30 and have to get out the door by 8 and they're rushing. I think of younger people usually when I'm thinking that. I don't know what 55-year-old people who go to work and have worked their whole lives, I don't know what they're like. I don't know any. Well, I know your mom. She always looks good and smells good, unlike us. So I guess going to work, you smell better. So the smell through rate on 9 to 5 is higher than reselling smell through rate. But as James says, I'm just here again trying to rebrand myself for the second half of life. You are.
Well, what's cool though with this easier program is that we can work the same amount of hours that we currently do if we choose to, and get 1,000 times more items.
This is the promise. This is the promise.
We're not necessarily. I mean, if anything, we can probably end up working fewer
so
hours.
So our slackadaisical,
and still get 1,000 times.
Low smell through rate people over here can get like a full. I mean, can you imagine people that? I mean, I feel sorry for people that aren't exposed or in our community that know about this stuff. Tech is not rolling in a brand new Bentley right now, so it's not like it's exploding and taking over the entire world immediately. And he's the only one getting paid right now from these next gen stuff. So my thought process is probably that, you know, not everyone's going to pick this up right away. This is your time. This is the Wild West. This is your time to take advantage of that. And I count myself very lucky to be in on the game. So, yeah.
James is here talking about the second one of his life. We were listening to your video earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
that.
you are. I think that is what that is a midlife crisis. Like,
yeah,
who am I? What am I doing?
It is.
How did I get here? Let the days go by. You know, that song starts playing.
It does happen, though. Like, all of a sudden, you realize that you want the things that reminded you, that made you happy when you were a kid.
I've had a midlife crisis since I was 12. I'm just on a permanent midlife crisis. I do not deny myself a birthday. I do it for 2 months. I don't, if I need something, if I want a toy, I mean, within reason, everything my wishes, my wish list, generally speaking, is something that could be resold.
And what's
so
funny
I
is
never
like,
ever buy useless junk that can't be resold. So.
Oh, stop it.
I like dressing you up though. So usually you only buy clothes.
So Renee,
and that's fun.
Renee was saying if
I like to dress you up with my love. I wrote that song. Thank you.
Renee was saying if he fills in all those crazy categories, I won't even know if they're incorrect. And I agree. In fact, with all these brand new DVDs that we have, and I can just scan the barcode and it will fill in whatever somebody else had already filled in at some point. And I delete half the crap because I don't know if this stuff is true.
Well, what I can't wait to get my hands in is to know those things.
Right. So but James follows up and says, with List Easier has become very trustworthy. I have grown to barely check anything. My confidence level is through the roof. And
That's what we're looking for.
A very trusting person.
And I know that about James. I myself feel the same way, that I am definitely, if I do trust, I verify, and also I'm pretty skeptical a lot, and I know what the software is going to do for me already, because I know what I can do on my own with ChatGPT. So if somebody can corral that for me and do all the work and make that thing do what I want it to do, harness that power for me, because I'm one of these low effort reseller types. I mean, I'm really not, but I am. I don't want to. I just can't wait.
Well,
that's what I'm trying to say.
And yeah, I mean, with
and I want to trust it, so I'm gonna look through it, and I'm gonna grind it out, and I'm gonna see what happens.
With these film related books we have, I just pretty much have like a template, and it just like says film, and then, but some of them, there's more to them, and I don't know. I just don't bother filling them in.
And James is right. So you see what he's saying right there? Is that he learned to let go on the title structure too, and just trust the AI, because, you know, well, I don't know specifically if this is a true statement. Is the AI trained to know a better title from a not better title? Does it look at, I don't know how, you know, I'm just guessing.
Doug Major Win mentioned on Monday that they decided to have AI like run their titles, and he said it was really interesting.
Well, if
from what they were using, had them read title stuff, and I was curious to know what about it was interesting, what changed.
Yeah, does AI take the
Renee
titles?
was asking that please talk about proper title structure. Do you guys have a video? We don't have a video out.
We're pretty sloppy on
John, if
doing
you're
anything
listening,
good.
FAE Flipping Ain't Easy. John does really great videos, like instructional stuff like that.
But the key to doing titles may not be having a way to do them. The key to doing titles is the first 6 words in it are the main tag, keywords, whatever you want to call them. The most important words are the first 6. So if AI knows that and it's doing that, it's a good reason just to ignore my ADHD wants me to make it perfect. I want artist hyphen song parentheses around the year 7-inch if it's a 45 record 45, and then I'm gonna do near mint or EX. Okay. That's how I do thousands of records. That's how I've done it.
And I want to add a few things to this. And Beard was talking about this morning on his podcast, where I think he was talking about someone that he had watched, and talking about throwing rare, throwing
HTF,
like
rare.
adjectives in a title.
We used to do that.
A shopper is not going to be typing that in. They're not going to type in, "Oh, I want that Hawaiian rare shirt."
A heck of a long time ago, we used to do that.
Okay, but I also want to say this. I sometimes have to separate myself from being a seller.
It's a mess.
And go,
we have to clean up for like an hour after that.
He's scraping off the guts. And I think to myself, if I were a buyer looking for this item I'm going to sell, what would I type in? And I keep it very basic when I'm shopping on eBay. I go, vintage Hawaiian dress. I'm not going vintage Hilo Hattie Hawaiian dress, because often I want to see the whole selection. Although putting a brand name is important.
And that's how you buy clothes. Now, if you want to buy technology or vintage audio equipment, you're going to type in most likely the brand and the model that you want, because you're not necessarily, when you are me or when you're a dude who wants technology, you don't want any old thing. You know what you want. Certain categories want pinpoint precision. And then some categories like clothing want broad descriptors. So that can matter. And maybe AI is doing that for us. Thank you.
So this is why with us, we are all over the place, and it's hard to even figure out what we're talking about.
Well, I've been doing it for 26 years, and you're like you just fell off the turnip truck.
I also want to point out
turnips. Why couldn't you fall off like a burrito truck?
I also want to point out too that often people don't know the model numbers that they're searching for. So they might say Sony VCR.
No, they do. Well, they're
not going to say Sony VCR model 21345 because they don't know it. They just know they want a Sony VCR.
But those are low information buyers. So VCR buyers I would pinpoint as a low information buyer. And VCRs are about $100. But if you want to step that up, come into the room over at Circuit City that's got the glass doors on it, and you've got the speakers and all the fancier stuff. If you want to come in here, you're going to look for the brand and you're going to look for the model. You're going to know what you want. So it depends on what you are selling.
And sometimes with the electronics that we're selling, which are usually like vintage electronics, I literally just go by the way it's written on the actual item itself.
$4 trillion. Dang. They made the stupid.
That's like skincare, right?
They make the NVIDIA.
Oh, I don't know.
They make stupid GPUs. So NVIDIA,
AI.
It's right in
Microsoft dominating the AI chip market. Oh Lord.
It's right in the Mountain View area. NVIDIA. We watched the buildings grow from like a little building, and then they got a bigger and bigger and bigger, and they now have surpassed Apple. And it's 100%. It was 100% from Bitcoin at first. So NVIDIA just made GPUs. People played games with they wanted to play really fast games, so they had the SLI. They developed gaming video cards, and then Bitcoin came in, and then GPUs were utilized for Bitcoin. So they made all these. Remember our super rich fancy stock investor friend is good to have on your team. He's like a bazillionaire now, and he had these milk crates filled with circuit boards and GPUs, and this was like 10 years ago probably. And then they went into, and now GPUs are used for AI, and they took over. So they kind of went from like a company that made boards for fun gaming, and then they ended up in taking over the world.
Aloha, Big Dre. Nice to see you.
Aloha, Big Dre.
Axe Monkey was saying it's a custom-made life.
It is.
Mike G was saying it will be interesting to see if eBay rewards or does not reward mass listings of saturated low sell-through items. My guess, it won't grow the store much, but it saves time. That's bonus.
And if you're, may I just take the words right out of your mouth?
Mm-hmm.
If you're James, this is going to help you. It's going to be more it already is contingent on owning the category a little bit. So James, who already has a strong foothold in any of those media categories, if he lists more, he's going to have a stronger foothold. That's my personal feeling. That's how they're going to look at him.
But also sort of along with what Mike is saying is it now, though, you need to be careful because if you're just slow sell-through rate stuff, your store will not be showing as much anymore. Because remember, that's
not exactly true. So you have to. There is nuance to all these statements, and the nuance is that if James is listing the stuff that he's already good at listing and selling, he's going to get better at it and make more money at it. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Now, if you're going to list stuff that you're not sure of,
well,
then you're taking risks.
That's what I'm talking about.
Well, I'm not, because I'm assuming that we're all doctors of reselling here, and we only make smart moves. So don't go out and list 1,000 feathers with your first month of
because
List
you're
Easier.
like, oh, I have all these listings
feathers
that I can list, and
I have all these
listings. I'm just going to list anything.
Of paper.
Right, you still need to be picky. Like,
don't go out and buy a ream of paper and sell each sheet individually and expect to take over the world. Although you might corner the market on individual sheets of paper. I'm not sure if there's a market for that, but give it a shot.
And then Renee was saying, they'll probably average, and I imagine there'll be a tidal wave. But remember,
we're first. This hasn't even started yet.
Right, and the tidal wave only will last as long as people have the merchandise to list, and that's why having low tiers it will encourage more people to just list whatever. But that's
their problem. Maybe people listing more garbage takes them out of our game. Maybe eBay punishes people for listing garbage and lowers your visibility, and we rise up. We rise up, and we take over the world.
That's what Mike is talking about.
That's what we're gonna do then. Who cares about what happens to the people who do it wrong? Let's encourage people doing it wrong. No, let's not. But don't do it wrong. That's, I think, important. Wait, hold on. I think the killer app is the program that automatically comps pricing in some sort of sophisticated beyond the current methods. That is absolutely Biff. And I think this is a mandatory and critical next step. Damn it.
Yeah. What is that podcast with ADH Dave and Carrie and Commonwealth and
Trash to Cash?
And
wait, I got to respond to an offer.
And they were talking about
$75. That's all.
And
I'll take it.
ADH Dave was like, can you imagine when people will be able to get those glasses and you can just wear them and look at something and have it tell you the comps?
They already have augmented reality glasses. Weren't Apple glasses doing that? Crapple?
But yeah, that will, I know the comp and stuff. Well, and then I was thinking, I'm not totally worried about that either because those glasses are not cheap. So
look, I'm the first one who's gonna get them. I'm gonna be the big winner here. I don't care what comes out. I'm taking first dibs on everything.
They were talking about the person that would have normally
taking first did bits
would normally have a garage sale decides not to because
they're not buying glasses. Okay, let's just put it that way. They did. If you're gonna talk trash to cash, we just watched their show, listened to it, whatever yesterday, and. What's the ADH Dave's name? What's his name? He first of all, he did his hair. He ran his fingers through his hair. And then he said that he went to a garage sale and taught the old lady how to download the eBay app and to check out his things. And I'm like, good for you. That's fine. I don't have a problem.
He was like, oh, what do you want for this? And she goes, I don't know. You tell me. You look
super
it up
annoying.
And tell
I'm not
me.
saying it's super annoying, and I would never have done that. But my point is that people don't know, and people aren't going to try to know. And who said it? Was it Dendicor saying overestimating? I'm not overestimating. Everyone doesn't want to do as much as they don't have to do, and they kind of want to I want to do a video on garage sales. Don't ever hold a garage sale and think you're the person holding the garage sale. Whoever shows up with the money is the reason you're doing the garage sale. Don't start your garage sales at 10, not 9. 7:30. Be out there with coffee for resellers. Give me coffee and a donut.
Ooh.
Typical though. Don't let it fool you. That was like 10 times a day.
That's
like the beginning of Strange Brew when it just opens on the lion, the MGM lion. Oh my gosh. That's what technology is for.
Viv was saying
That's what's
for most of
happening.
my one-offs, one of ones, I make something up. Yeah. Axe Monkey was saying in Gemini, you scroll down.
What about Renee's comment about buying that ruins
Oh.
it for everyone? I'm going to read that one, even though you wanted to pass it up.
I think it's going to be the buying that ruins it for everyone.
I disagree too, because what I think the AI that comes in is going to be to do more tentacle action, in that more tentacles are going to be listing, more tentacles are going to be buying, more connections are going to be made. That's my preliminary idea of how AI is going to work. Everything's going to work great. It always works good at first, and then it shitifies over time. Get in early, make your mark, and then hopefully that next level that Biff was talking about, where they actually can give you prices. That's when we're really going to get. See, right now is kind of a sweet spot. So mass adoption is not going to happen. Pokeheads are rising up. So right now is the sweet spot. And so do it. You got to do it now. And so people aren't going to mass adopt this thing right off the bat. You're going to be first. You're going to put your stuff out there, and then it's going to, over time, and by time I mean years, it's going to dilute and change, but you're already going to have made $1 billion, and you're just going to be sitting there just counting out money. No, we need a AI robot to count my money. Thank you.
For those who may have tried the and are disappointed by it, don't let that discourage you from trying List Easier, because with List Easier, you are going to have 10 free listings to try it out with. And
you tried the rest. Now
right.
try the best. And it's called List Easier.
and even without the 10 free listings, this is like top-notch stuff.
I'm going to have 1,010 listings because I'm going to get my free listings and I'm going to pay for some.
Axe Monkey is saying in Gemini, you can give it the link to your listing on eBay and have it evaluate it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
So what do we think that's doing? What do you think the evaluation is? Like, what is
where does it, how does it know?
Is it looking at the best sold items, title
wonder.
structures? Is it looking at eBay's written documentation on how to create a title structure? I don't even know. We're just going to have to see if it works, because I know it's going to.
Hero and Hand-Me-Downs is saying.
Who's that? Who is that?
Biff.
Biff is Bagosh.
For a book, you can't convince me that the best title structure is anything other than the title, author, year, type, and publisher. We don't do publisher, but yeah, we do.
We do hardcover, HC, and almost every single one is a first edition, first print.
Yeah.
So we try to cram that
But
in.
we put the publisher down in the item specific.
It is in there. And
Big Dre.
And also I like to have parentheses around I can't have a year just sitting there without parentheses around it on anything.
Yeah, so we're
it
taking
feels
out
gross
the
to me.
characters.
I feel like I have dirty hands. I can't allow it.
Big Dre was saying, I really don't like Amazon's predatory business practices against its own sellers, nor do I like their treatment of employees. I've decided to never sell on Amazon for those reasons.
Well, very good. I agree with you. We have our experience with Amazon was very usury. We made, after a year of selling those framed maps, which was kind of a big deal, we tried really hard to do it. I would say that the amount of money made was almost nothing by the time they drove over a whole bunch of mats and broke them and then charged us to sell them back to us. And then they charged us for ship storage, and then something else happened, and then we had to refill, and they charged us in the money and the thing. I think we made no money. And we still have 20 maps left, and they're from like 10 years ago.
Renee,
and I would never do Amazon again. Not now.
Renee was saying, I heard no punctuation. I'm not sure. We have yet to use List Easier, and we have not at all tried that other program. So but no, I'm sure.
Is a parentheses a punctuation?
If you're talking about in the title.
Well, it is.
If you're talking about in the title using characters other than letters, I don't think eBay searches them, but it can overlook them.
It can, yes. And I just think that for human response that I need to put parentheses around years.
So if you put, an apostrophe S, but somebody listed it without an apostrophe, it will still
Mike
search.
G, here's what I know about that. It is not, what about the seller's descriptions? Does AI do a nice job of customizing? It's not the eBay one. It's not just the fluffy, dumb eBay one.
Any collector would love to add this to their collection.
They will take it and they will call it George. No, it doesn't say that. It just, it actually says the things that you want it to say in there. The thing, like, so John uses Grok and I have used it before, like, and say something like, use a nice description of this item with bulletized points in it. I don't think that that's how it's going to present it. It's going to present it with the most concise, good information in that title with no fluff. In the description with no fluff.
James, who is in our chat, James Helferstay, he has done a lot of videos specifically on Josh's program, List Easier. So take a look, because I don't know, as far as I know, I have not heard any complaints about the descriptions that List Easier comes up with.
No.
I think
this is
very
this is next level. So the eBay AI is the fluff one. And that's just like, don't even put that in there. It's so bad.
I know. Oh man, when I see a listing and you can tell right away that it used the AI description, I was like,
I also feel sorry for the seller and don't hold it against him, because eBay wants you to do that. So I'm like, well, you're just doing what eBay wanted you to do.
Sellers, though, don't use the AI.
I agree.
And so you can sort of tell when it is a new seller.
Not that that's bad.
No, I know. Biff was saying, so you're saying NVIDIA sold the picks and shovels?
NVIDIA, yes, they did. They created all the GPUs for Bitcoining. And then basically they increased the power consumption of the earth by like 3 times or something. But good for them.
Mike was saying, so let's see if James can get past 900 daily. I'm thinking not unless he's got some good stuff.
No, he is. He's gonna crush that point just by listing more. He's not going to double or he's not going to exponentially grow his store by listing more stuff. He's going to, what do you want to call that? What do you call that when you click? He's going to, it's not, so if he puts in twice as much stuff, it's not going to double his sales. It's going to incremental. That's what I'm trying to say. Incremental. Thank you. So great. He's going to incrementally grow his store. So maybe an extra, if he doubles his listings, he might increase his output by 20%. That's all you can do, because he's not putting in like items. If he was putting in all the same items, you could count on doubling your or whatever. But since he's putting in, it's still, people have to buy it, and the likability of each item is different. But overall, it's going to grow his store incrementally.
Biff got you. He knew. But again, like what Beard was saying, when you are niched, your store functions better,
yes.
And you get more money for your items.
Absolutely.
When you are niched down.
It's not practical to niche store. Like, how niche do you get each store, or what is a niche? I consider general reseller stuff that people like, clothing and electronics and stuff, as a niche. Now, but you can niche more than that. But if you're just selling like regular stuff, but then if you have really high quality stuff or really collectible stuff, then perhaps a separate store for that is.
Hey, Swamp Picker, nice to see you.
Lenny K, GPU mining chips for Bitcoin. I had one of those once.
Biff was saying, I also think there might be a shift towards standalone niche stores getting better traffic. Oh yeah, and we might break free of eBay once and for all.
I wouldn't mind having a Shopify. I've done it already though. That's the problem. And it did work when I was selling Danish modern furniture because it was super easy to kind of scoot people over from eBay to our store because we were selling that furniture. And then they would be happy to come over to the store and look at other things and make purchases on my store. But with small things, eBay is the place to stay. But it depends on what you're selling again.
Axe Monkey was saying it examines, so when she runs her eBay link through the AI, it examines the title structure and description, and it comments on item specific stuff like that. That's pretty neat. Biff was saying AI may change the Google game so much that it can't be SEO manipulated like the old days. Your small niche store may get the eyes you need without all the hassle.
So that's what you're saying. And yes, I agree with that. And yes, and then Shopify will become the thing that I always wanted. But at the time that I had Old School Artifacts, which was modluv.com was my Modern Love. It's like an offshoot of my main whatever. So that store got so much traffic that I was not only making money on sales on that, but I was also making $600 to $1,000 a month on advertising, on AdWords. So those days are gone. Haven't seen them again. Can this be the start of it again? Like, because of exactly how Biff is presenting this, it seems like exciting to me all of a sudden. That you'll be able to super niche and become an expert in that, and nobody else can touch you because you are that thing. Like Josh is a stereo view now. He's just a walking, talking stereo view. That's what he is.
Renee was saying, I'm sorry, I'll get back to the other comments, but Renee was saying, I thought about splitting my store just to hold more marketplace space.
Depending on what you're selling, I think that it's not a good idea to separate your items out unless you're really going to do it well. One way to separate your store is just high sell-through rate items and low sell-through rate items. And separate those two things. Yeah, that's one way to just start on that level.
Or right, if you have
swap picker,
if you do a particular niche, like if you were to separate those out. But also, eBay does not like it if a seller opens up a second store just to sell the same exact item. So like say like we have 10 of the same DVD, eBay would shut us down if we put 5 of them on one store and 5 of them on another store. They do not approve of that.
What'd you say?
eBay does not want us, if we have
it's
10
after 3, my brain just
if we had 10 of a DVD, eBay does not want us to have a second store where we put 5 on one store and 5 on another.
Yes.
You can't do that.
I don't. Well, hold on.
Right?
Let me. Hold on, though. Hold on. Oh, whoa, whoa. I'm just thinking about how I bought those wrappers. Okay, so check this out.
Oh yeah, no, but they weren't the same exact ones.
Check this out.
It wasn't like he didn't have like ET on one store, ET on the other store.
I don't know if he did. He may have. He had so many wrappers. He was a wrapper king.
eBay doesn't.
In fact,
right, guys?
So
eBay
here's what
does
happened.
Not allow that.
I bought these wrappers.
Hi,
right?
Ryan.
I bought the wrappers. They're trading card wrappers from the 1970s. So I got 3 from this one store, and then because if I'm gonna buy wrappers or something like that, I want to get multiples from one store so shipping's cheaper. So I bought 3, and I'm like, that's these are nice. This is exactly what I wanted. And then I went out there to try to find another one, and I found this other store, different name, maybe different wrappers, but huge selection. Prices totally different. One of them charged shipping. The other one did not, had free shipping. But there was a lot of similarities in the pictures and stuff, but I didn't really notice it until they shipped. 3 of them, there was free shipping and not free shipping. 3 of them were ship tracked. Then this other pair I didn't know was from the same guy said shipped without tracking. And I'm like, uh-oh, this is going to be an issue. When the one set showed up, the other 3 were in there with it like magic, like a little baby magic package that had all 6 of them. They were from 2 different stores. It's the same person. And they sold differently, similar items. Why would he do that except to maybe own a little more of the footprint of the wrapper industry?
It is owning more of the footprint, but I don't know if that's. I don't think
gum,
that's against eBay rules. It's when you literally have the same exact item and you are selling
Silver
it on
hair
2
stacker.
separate
Do
accounts.
not feel old. That's what we're talking about. Gum wrappers, not bazooka, but they were around in the 70s. You know, like the cards,
the wax
cards, but they had a wax wrapper around the outside with the gum. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
and it's much cheaper to buy. You can buy the wrappers. These crazy kids are selling just the wrapper now.
Renee, we have 3 eBay stores, but they sell completely different product, each one.
Who snipes you has 4 different storefronts with different names, same address.
So you can have different stores. It's just
what you were saying.
I know, eBay frowns upon a seller going, I'm going to monopolize this.
You can't sell the same item.
Right. You can't sell the same item on 2 separate stores.
But there's definitely room for sophisticated sellers who aren't breaking the rules, but they're doing it just the way that, and they know that'll increase their sales by having multiple stores selling the same similar products, but they're slightly different.
But if we had,
but why does he do free shipping on one and not on the other? That's got to be to confuse the seller so he doesn't think he's buying. I mean, just why? Or he's fishing, which is a genius. Some people want to pay no shipping, free shipping. Some people are more apt to buy if it says free shipping, and some people want to buy if it says
maybe one of his stores is consignment stuff and the other one is his own stuff.
No.
You know, something like that.
No, I think he's manipulating sales, and that's what you're supposed to do, because sales is all about manipulation and winning over somebody else who's selling the same thing.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I have read that eBay does not, they don't allow, or they do frown upon sellers selling the same exact item.
Hey, Fro, we speak your name. Thank you. I hope you're doing okay out there in the universe. Hey, okay, guys, we're going to go now because it's time. And also,
I think we need to go to the post office. Our
wait, did we finish?
Post person. Oh no, did we?
No, my brain went. Silver Hair Stacker has a wet brain. Wait, it just went to gum wrap. That's totally what it is. I just sold a lot of 150 different baseball card wrappers from the 90s and early 2000s for $30 last week on eBay. So everything's got a price still. I mean, everything's got a cost. And with that, I will press that button that we can never go back from. Once it's pressed, it's pressed.
Guys, thank you for dealing with our
technical issues. Goofiness. And thank you so much for joining us.
You want to get rid of
We'll be back on Monday.
If Carla's here, I want her to say.
Here's our little puppy that you all, and I say words like, because he knows that's the end of the day and it's time to go cuddle with mom and dad. He can't believe it.
Sticker stop.
You guys have a great weekend and we will see you.
Thank you, everyone. You mean so much to us.
When will we see them?
Aloha on Monday.
Watch all the people we love too.
Yeah, John, Beard, Silver Hair, Queen City,
Ryan. Oh
Ryan.
Ryan.
Yes, Ryan, of course. Yep.
Smooth, perfect exit.
Josh, of course, Josh.
Oh, watch
too. Josh
if he's on, which he was today. So go watch that. Love you guys. Have a great week.
Aloha. Thank you so